Okay. Good evening, everyone. Please stand for a short prayer and a salute to our flag. Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of all our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Statement of publication.
Take notice that this regular agenda meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on this 27th day of January 2025 has been posted and advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Balca.
Here.
Polisi. Novak.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Sinarski.
Here.
Zabrowski.
Here.
Council President, approval of the prior minutes.
Sorry, I move the following minutes of the mayor and council be approved on roll call vote, subject to correction if necessary, December 9th, 2024, and January 1st, 2025.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Novak.
I'll abstain on December 9th and yes on January 1st.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay, is Mr. Shaw here? Okay. That being said, it is our honor to honor a beauty queen. So I'm going to ask the governing body to come up front.
Okay.
I have met the beauty queen before at the St. Stan's Carnival, but Lenore, let us honor you as is rightfully your place.
Thank you so
I'm going to have the council president, Donna Roberts, do that, and then the rest of the guys are going to oogle you.
Her husband's right here.
Same thing, an OG.
Okay, so this is a certificate of recognition presented by the mayor and borough council to Lenore Sibeli Lambert. In honor of her outstanding achievement as Miss New Jersey Senior America 2024, the Borough of Sayreville proudly recognizes and commends Lenore Sibeli Lambert of Parr Lynn for her grace, talent, and dedication to representing the dignity, maturity, and inner beauty of our senior Americans. On May 30th, 2024, at Harrah's Resort Hotel and Casino, Lenore stood among 8 remarkable contestants and emerged victorious in this time-honored pageant, which has celebrated extraordinary women since 1971. Her heartfelt and inspiring performance of My Grown-Up Wishful List, reimagined rendition of My Grown-Up Christmas List, conveyed a powerful message of peace and hope, earning thunderous applause and the admiration of all in attendance. Her achievement is a source of pride for Middlesex County and the Borough of Sayreville, and we honor her as a role model for elegance, talent, and community spirit. Congratulations. Thank
Well, this is in the way. Can I move
The
this
guys
down?
would like to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Councilwoman Novak.
Come get over.
Come on,
Listen,
come on.
I've been enough of these things in Hudson County, so I know how we do this, okay? All righty.
you.
Thank
This is
you. Thank you so
Councilwoman
much.
Novak. She-
Hi, I'm very well, thank you. Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
putting us on the map.
Yes, well, I'm trying to get more women from the central to northern New Jersey involved because it is a very well-known event that happens, and it's a national event. So it's a well-known event that
And
happens.
turn around to the
Oh,
camera so
I'm
everyone.
sorry.
Right up.
I'm sorry. So I'm very honored to, first of all, live in the town of Saraville in Harlan. And I think it's very important that senior women from the age of 60 and over realize that there is more to life than what the founder of this organization did in 1971. And he was in a senior center in a senior home, and he saw women sitting around not doing much of anything except sitting in a rocking chair. And he vowed that he would take women from the rocking chair to the runway. And so from 1971, when he started it right here in New Jersey, down in Atlantic City, 3 years later, it became a national competition. So any women that are 60 and over in the state of New Jersey can walk with me at the Harrah's Casino on May 29th, and they can be part of this organization. It's not just the crown. What I do is I have traveled throughout this year. My reign is up May 29th, but I go to senior centers. I am part of a sisterhood that is called the Cameo Club. We perform at senior centers, memory care centers, 55 and over, libraries. We've been in Toms River, but no one really knows about me and about this organization here from northern central New Jersey north. So it's a very big organization, very well known, lots of contestants from Brick, New Jersey and south. And so I have tried this year to really make it known what we do, and it's not about Medicare anymore. It's about sparkle and bling and having fun and learning that we women have a lot to offer after we are 60. So my job now is to get other women involved, get them up, get their blood pumping, and to show them that they can have just as much fun as the rest of the 65 women that I'm a sisterhood of right now. So I competed nationally in October for Miss Senior America. I did not place, but I had a great time. I met 43 women from so many different states, and I became friends with them. And it's really just about bringing people together and doing more in life than just your average day. So I thank you for letting me take this time, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you, and thank you, Mayor O'Brien. It was great to meet you at the carnival. We had a lot of fun,
Did.
and thank
Carnival's
you so
always
much. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'll pass this back to you.
Okay. Lenora, you make us proud. Thank you very much.
And Lenore, I just want to say, I looked you up before this and I really liked your quote about reaching the age of elegance and never giving up. So thank you for that. Those encouraging words. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here you go, Jess. I beg your pardon? Okay, at this time, we're going to go into closed session. Counselor, if you would, oh, you have it, Jess?
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be resolved by the Mayor and Borough Council of the Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. The public portion of this meeting is hereby adjourned in order that the governing body may meet in closed private session for approximately 20 to 30 minutes to discuss the following matters: litigation, personnel, attorney-client privilege, affordable housing. Following the conclusion of said closed session, the governing body shall reconvene the open portion of this public meeting to consider any other matters which may be properly brought before it at this time. The nature and content of the discussion which occurs in closed session shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion to go into closed.
Second? Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Delisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes. Okay.
To return to open.
Second.
Hey.
Roberts.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Delisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to ask the governing body to go up to the rail, and I'm going to ask Mr. Rishi Shah to come forward. Donna?
Hi.
Okay. Mr. Shah, it's a pleasure. We're so happy that you honored the borough. With that, I'm going to have our council president read the proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor. The certificate of recognition presented by the Mayor and Borough Council to Rishi Shah in honor of your outstanding dedication to community service and leadership. We proudly recognize your exceptional commitment to the Borough of Sayreville, your tireless efforts in serving as the president of 6 school clubs, former secretary and head high school representative for the Borough of Sayreville Human Relations Commission, as well as your role as vice president of the Teen Advisory Board at the Sayreville Public Library, exemplify your dedication to bettering our community. Your passion for volunteerism has made a profound impact on those around you. Your recent achievement of the Lifetime Presidential Volunteer Service Award, signed by President Joe Biden, is a testament to your unwavering service and leadership. On behalf of the Borough of Sayreville, we extend our deepest gratitude for your contributions and congratulate you on this well-deserved honor. Your efforts inspire others to give back, and we celebrate your achievement as a role model for future generations. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Shah, we'd like you to speak to everyone. Do it.
I stand here today deeply honored to receive the Lifetime Presidential Volunteer Service Award. As I reflect on this journey, it's humbling to see how a small desire to give back to the pandemic give back has made such a big turn. I started during the pandemic, been doing small things like small acts of kindness, like making cards, making masks, tutoring young students, delivering groceries to neighbors, being a helping hand, basically. Those small efforts led me to eventually become president of 6 clubs in my high school, giving me the opportunity to create meaningful change, whether it be leading my local DECA chapter with over 200 members, or promoting inclusivity through the Sayreville Human Relations Commission. I learned that true leadership is about empowering others. We're working together to make a lasting impact. One of the biggest things I did was like create a nonprofit, the Small Business Support Initiative. It was a simple idea to help local businesses and small businesses across the world during the pandemic and after, to help them grow their digital presence. Till date, I have supported over 570 small businesses and counting through my efforts, whether it be improving their digital presence, connecting with customers, and expanding their reach. And we'll continue to grow with that. It's a good thing. And one thing I'm currently working on is like organizing for this Valentine's Day, like card initiative for local seniors and soldiers overseas, to give them moments of joy and those who may feel isolated from far from home. looking in the future, I'm excited to take what I learned from these experiences and channel it into a passion for business administration and computer science. And yeah, thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Start down there,
Sorry.
Mr.
Oh,
Go ahead.
thank you so much.
Did you want to say?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Where's it going on there?
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and we wish you much fulfillment going forward. You're a credit to to the community of Saraville, and we thank you. You honor us.
Thank you so much.
Thank-
Can I share a picture with you? That picture? Sure. There you go. Thank you so much. No problem.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Mayor, while you're walking back, may I just say that Rishi has a very, very professional LinkedIn profile already. And has already got Python on your resume. I'm going to be, that's my next language to learn. So I'll be looking for some tips. Thank you.
All right. Appointments. First appointment is Mitch Cooper to the Library Board of Trustees, a 5-year term. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second? Roll call.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Stanarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay, the next is Recreation, a 3-year term for Sherry Poe. Is there a motion?
Make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Roberts.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Stanarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay, and the third is the CDBG Administrator Gwendolyn Knight. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Roberts.
Yes.
Falca.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Stanarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay, for all of the volunteers in Saraville, I received the appointment list on Friday, but over the weekend, I was involved with personal and family matters. I just came across it tonight. I sent it out. So it is my solemn hope that at the next meeting, we'll finish up the appointments. Okay, that being said,
We're going to go to the public hearing on the submission
Okay.
of a grant application to the State of New Jersey Green Acres and Jake's Law programs for improvements at Bailey Park located at South Minnesink Ave and Cheesequake Road.
Glenn, you want to give a briefing on it before
Yes,
I
thank you,
open it to
Mr.
the
Mayor.
public?
Nicole has put up a rendering of the borough engineer's concept plan for the park and what we plan to do there should we be successful in obtaining these grant funds. There's 2 separate grants that we'll be applying for. One is under Jake's Law and the second is a Green Acres grant application. Both are for the overall improvement of the Bailey Park facility. An online public survey was posted on the borough's website and the community was invited on social media to provide input that was very enlightening. And with that knowledge and armed with that knowledge, that is how the concept was further developed into what you see now on your screen. At this point, the planned improvements to Bailey Park will include a universal design, fully accessible playground for all ages and abilities. That's for children with both neurodivergent and physical disabilities. This will be the first such facility in the borough of Saraville. We made some efforts years ago to add some handicap swings, but this will be a comprehensive play area for those children. It'll include paving of the parking lot, including new entrance and lighting. a new comfort station, which will of course be handicap accessible. We're going to provide storage space for the BIC summer camp in the hopes that we're able to locate them back at that facility if they so desire. Enhance the existing picnic area, improve walkways and handicap access, and of course, there will be substantial landscape improvements to the facility. As you can see, we tried to provide good access to everyone from every walk of life. It's some of the highlights are there's a dedicated pedestrian pathway that runs from Minnesink Avenue deep into the heart of the park, as well as a vastly improved parking area, which will be paved and have the proper drainage and be sited in such a way not to affect the wetlands that are immediately adjacent to the south of the site. An environmental assessment was conducted as a part of the study for this project, and the findings were as follows. In terms of the impact analysis, the project is focused on formerly developed areas of the park. No undeveloped portions of the site or trees will be impacted. Mitigation measures will include compliance with permits and management of temporary disturbances during construction, such as dust, noise, et cetera. And in terms of alternatives to the proposed, none of the alternative sites address the community's desire to improve Bailey Park. The environmental assessment concluded the proposed redevelopment of Bailey Park is the most balanced and effective alternative, addressing both environmental and community needs while advancing equity and accessibility goals. At this point, with your permission, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to solicit any public comments or questions about the proposed application.
At this time, I'm going to open the public portion. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Jim Robinson, Parlin, and thank you for soliciting questions. I was going to ask if this was a part of the survey. I'm glad you answered that. I and a number of other people participated in that survey. And I'm always happy to see something like this. I just want to make something clear. The parking lot, the bottom right corner, that's the Arsenal parking lot. That's not part of this project, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And do you anticipate that this will serve a neighborhood, or is this for borough-wide? Because
Well, it will be available borough-wide as it traditionally has been dating back to when it was Duck's Nest, but it will obviously service that Oak Tree neighborhood that's immediately adjacent.
Okay. One of the things that I wondered about when I looked at this plan, is there anything that will make sure that, and it looks to me like the playground is going in the area where all the macadam and the construction vehicles and the other debris is dumped right now. Is that correct? Okay. And it looked to me, when I looked at that area, that's an appropriate place for it, but it is right near the entrance to the pond, to the lake. And right now, any kids that are in that area can very easily access that lake through the gates. Is there going to be something that makes sure that young folks or anybody else that is at this park can't access the water?
Certainly, we've not gotten to the details of that part of the plan yet, but we will make every accommodation that's feasible for safety and security at the site as the plan is developed more further by the engineer.
Okay. And when will all those, what's the timing on this?
Generally speaking, the Green Acres grants land sometime in early summer. The Jake's Law, I don't know. This is a new grant opportunity for us that I've never engaged with. We'll trigger further planning moving forward and hopefully be in a position to be shovel ready should the funding arrive.
Okay. And is the macadam that is dumped there, does that present any kind of problem?
No, all debris will be removed. The proper process of land development under the supervision of the engineer will be conducted. And if any concerns are identified, they'll be addressed before construction begins.
And the question that a few people asked me, no splash park involved in this,
No.
right?
No.
Okay.
And just for your information, we have another funding opportunity coming up in June, which we plan to use for the back half of the park around the pond and the picnic area to do further improvements, but we're limited by the size of the grant we
Is
can
that one
apply
of the
for.
other resolutions on the agenda tonight, what you're talking about?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Very good. Very happy to see this. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Being no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to close the public?
Second.
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Palka. Carlisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski. Introduction of the following ordinances. Ordinance number 1-25, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey. Ordinance regarding fee for yearly farmers market license.
I move the ordinance,
Councilman Belka, I'm sorry.
move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing be held on February 10th, 2024.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Balca.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Novak. Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Introduction of ordinance number 2-25, an ordinance of the Borough of Saraville approving revisions to Riverton street names, schematic map, and amending the waterfront redevelopment plan to incorporate said revisions.
Councilman Zabrowski.
Move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing to be held on February 10th, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Zabrowski.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
I'm voting yes, but I got a comment. John, maybe you can answer a comment on the Silver Star Award street names. How did that get done? It was done before our time, but
The Veterans Alliance met with the Riverton people to go over our Veterans Street ordinance with
okay.
them. And everything was, everyone was satisfied.
Okay. Thank you.
Ordinance number 3-25, an ordinance supplementing and amending ordinance number 40-23, fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2023 to 2027.
Councilman Balka.
Move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing be held on February 10th, 2025.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Balca.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Novak. Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Ordinance number 4-25, an ordinance supplementing and amending ordinance 40-23, fixing the salaries of certain borough officials, officers, and employees for the years 2023 to 2027.
Councilman Balka.
Move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and a public hearing be held on February 10th, 2025.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Balca.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes.
Ordinance number 5-25, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex. Ordinance accepting amendment to easement in favor of the Borough of Saraville relative to block 307.01, lots 1.02 and 1.03.
Councilman Zabrowski.
Move the ordinance be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and public hearing be held on February 10th, 2025.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Polisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
At this time, I'm going to open the public portion on consent agenda items. Are there questions on Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Jim Robinson, Parlin, on Resolution 2025-33. It references the Community Development Block Grant Committee. Is that committee staffed and working and meeting and?
I don't know. I had no interaction with them. This was handled in-house with the CDBG.
I'm sorry, I can't
coordinator.
hear Mr. Skarzinski.
To my knowledge, no, I've not had any interaction with the CDBG committee.
Okay, because the resolution says that the committee met and they recommended that we do park improvements or improvements to the sidewalk at War Memorial Park. And I know in the past, going back years, in fact, when I was involved, we used to take that community development block grant money and make money available for seniors and low-income folks to fix up their homes. And some of that money, you know, one of the other resolutions, we're going to talk about 194 present or rehab units that we have to comply with our affordable housing. Some of that money was used to rehabilitate homes so they could be counted in our affordable housing. And so for each one of those homes that we do, that we rehabilitate, that gets counted, that's 6 market rate units that don't have to be built somewhere. So we're talking about the Community Development Block Grant Committee recommending these improvements to the walkways in the park. And I'm just wondering, why aren't we doing this? Well, does the committee really exist? The resolution says it does, but Glenn says he doesn't have knowledge of it.
All right, Mr.
And-
Robinson, if I could just interrupt you, could you pause this time so I could just
Okay, and.
Mr. Robinson, let me just answer. Did she stop your time? You could
Sure.
resume. The CDBG committee, I don't interact with. All my interactions with CDBG are through Ms. Knight, who was reappointed tonight. She's our CDBG coordinator.
Mhm.
So I'm presuming she met with her committee. I can't attest to that factually, but if there, I have faith in the resolution. And regarding your comment of past use of CDBG funds, you are correct. But we are now going to be leveraging affordable housing funds to do exactly the type of projects that you're speaking of. Our planner and our borough attorney have finalized that, and we should be rolling that out sometime in February to the benefit of our senior population.
Okay, thank you. But we are passing a resolution saying that happened, so we ought to make sure that it did. And in addition to that fund that I was instrumental in getting us to and some of the other folks here in the audience were instrumental in getting created, there is this community development block grant money that we ought to look into rather than sidewalks through the park. And on that resolution, which is 39, there are a couple mistakes, I think, in the whereas section. We talk about the Borough Committee of the Borough. Maybe that's the Borough Council of the Borough. It should be, I'm not sure. But also in the be it resolved section, and I'm sure you've all read this, I'm sure you caught this. It talks about submitting this to the Superior Court in Hunterdon County. Now, that was maybe a cut and paste error on the attorney's part. Is that what that was?
That's a typo. It should be Middlesex County.
Nobody mentioned that? I read these things. So it stood out at me. And how about the other parts where we talk about the Borough Committee of the Borough? Is that a typo? Should that be maybe the Borough Council of the Borough?
Yes, it would be the Borough Council. I'm just trying to find.
Okay, on that same, well, I don't want to take my time, but on that same issue of the affordable housing, I read the other day that the Riverton number of residential units were reduced, and consequently, the affordable housing units were reduced from 200 to 130. Now, we were counting on those 200. What does that do to this resolution? What does that do to our numbers if there are 70 fewer affordable? And I would ask, but I don't want to use my time yet, the UES contract, New Jersey Tree Foundation. The first person I asked about it was Art, because he's chairman of the Shade Tree Commission. He didn't know anything about it. So if we could have an explanation on that, I think it would be helpful. The Camelot bond release. We had some residents here, and a couple of them called me last week, had some issues, wanted to know if they were resolved before that money is resolved. Before that money is released, are all those problems resolved for those folks? I'd like an answer to that question. Why are we selling that property on Johnson's Lane? Is it treed property? Is it we just sell it because we like to get rid of treed properties? And I also note that we are paying JCP&L, which stands for Jersey Central Power and Light, $73,000 this month. Maybe 20% of our streetlights are still out. Some of us have contacted our legislative delegation to get them, see what they can do. Mr. Olszewski and I have talked about that a number of times, and we're moving on that. Maybe it ought to be Jersey Central Power and sometimes Light Company, but if we're paying $73,000 a month to the power company, the least they can do is get the streetlights working. And this is not something that went out yesterday or last week or even in December. This is something we've been talking about for 18 months. 20% of our streetlights are out. We're a big customer, $73,000 a month to JCP&L. So, well, that's all on resolutions. Thank you. And you want me to stay here for the responses, or should I sit down?
No, sit down.
Okay, thank you.
Let it go. Okay. Anyone else? Being no one else, entertain a motion to close the public portion.
Make a motion. Make a motion to close the public and adopt the resolutions.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts,
Yes.
Balca,
Yeah, on 2532, I'm going to abstain on the Adelex bill, the Casey Sign bill, and Kelly Wolf bill. Yes on all other items.
Malisi,
Yes.
Novak,
There's, I want to abstain on 39 on, I really wasn't involved in a lot of this. I was happy with what I heard, that, this isn't, nothing is set in stone, but there's ways to, reduce this number, but I'm still going to abstain on it till I get some more information. And, excuse me, there was one other I wanted to abstain on. No, I'm just going to say yes.
Okay. Sinarski,
I'm voting yes on all of them, except 2532. I got a comment at 2532. I got a comment about that. I am also involved with Jersey Central. And I am definitely, don't like the way it's being run as far as us not getting our lights repaired. I'm also concerned about the temporary permanent generator that they're transforming that they have over by not down by Camelot. So I do want to work with Jersey Central and try to get some of these problems alleviated. But I'm voting yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes, and just one more comment on that. And I would ask our borough attorney, I know that there are a number of other townships that have initiated some lawsuits in reference to paying Jersey Central because of the streetlights being out. So this is kind of an epidemic issue, not just in Saraville, but it's in other counties and probably in our county as well. Would you be able to take a look at that? Because I don't know if not paying is the correct starting point, or if there's another avenue that would bring more fruit to getting these lights repaired quicker.
Absolutely, Councilman. I can absolutely look into that and report back at the next meeting.
I appreciate it. And I vote yes to all the resolutions.
Okay.
Okay, I need a motion to accept the correspondence as listed.
Make a motion to accept the correspondence as listed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Roberts,
Yes.
Balca,
Yes.
Polisi,
Yes.
Novak,
Yes.
Sinarski,
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Yes, and just under comments, I just want to thank Paula Duffy for her time serving Sarah, having been on the board and working with her. She had quite a contribution to our commission.
Okay, council reports, administration and finance, Councilman Balka.
Thank you, Mayor. We're busy compiling the figures for the budget, and until the budget's further along in the process, we really should not be adding any new positions at this time, and otherwise progress.
Planning and zoning, Councilman Zabrowski.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. First and foremost, I just want to express my condolences to Joe Rudy family. If anybody knows Joe Rudy, he was a very active member of our Veterans Alliance, particularly at the American Legion with the Honor Guard as well. Again, my condolences to his family. The three committees, Planning Board, Sarah, and Board of Adjustment, all met this month for reorganization. One of the things I did want to add, although it was previously discussed, is the Affordable Housing Rehabilitation Plan. That should go into effect as of February, as Glenn mentioned. In the interim, however, if there are members of our community who do have needs for repairs to their homes, obviously it's based on income, but you are welcome to contact our clerk to get your name on the list. But once the portal is open, and there will be a portal available, you'll be able to go directly online. It'll have terms and conditions and what have you related to that. Finally, I just want to also thank Jen Bell and her staff for what they do at the Active Adult Center. Starting February 4th, they'll begin providing free income tax preparation through the United Way. There's a drop box in the lobby that will be available after that date, and your tax information can be dropped off securely. If you want to have an appointment, you may do so by contacting the office for an in-person appointment, which will be from 9 to noon on Tuesday mornings. And Mayor, that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Public Safety, Councilman Kalasi.
Thank you. No, so far, I sat with Police Chief Plumacher and also got in touch with Fire Chief George Gowron. We went over a whole list of things, wants, needs, concerns in the town. So I'm excited to work on this now. And so far with the report to date in the fire department was 81 calls as of January 27th. So ranging from structure fires, car fires, motor vehicle accidents, fires with carbon alarms. So that's quite a bit. So they've been a bit busy. So they're currently working with their underwriter for insurance and for the information on the fire rating in the borough. So they have not, he has not had time to sit down with the officers to discuss the department's future, but going forward, we'll just start working on the capital budgets now. And then with the police department, same thing, sat with Chief Plumacher, and we first formulated that response to the recent break-ins on the 17th. We sent it out on social media about this current epidemic of crime we have at this moment. But there's plenty involved, and we're looking at ways to cure this, okay? So going forward, so for the people who are not on social media, we're going to try to get the word out in a myriad of different ways. So I'm excited to start all of this, and let's just go forward and keep you up to date. Thanks.
Okay, Public Works, Councilwoman Novak.
Yes, I'd like to thank the Public Works Department. They did a great job with snow removal. Also, I'm going to, at this time, respectfully request that we allow for public participation in Zoom meetings. I know in the past we've had some abuses of using this Zoom, and I hope that that would not start up again. But having worked with this, it didn't drag our meetings on that long, and it really was for the seniors that can't get out. And I respectfully request that we go back to that.
Let me look into it a little more. It was done specifically
I know.
for COVID. So let me see what the real need is, and I'll get back to you.
Even if we just help one or two people, you know,
Mary,
okay.
I have
Also,
hundreds of people doing customer service Monday through Friday.
I got that. I just, you know, it's just my opinion that, you know,
Yeah.
it really was good for the public, and I'd like to publicly, you know, respectfully request that we go back to that. Okay, is there any way that we can have the attorney look into not paying the Jersey Central bill? I mean, at some point, like, let's say if a light is out for 30 days, that we can start deducting for these lights. You know, we're hearing on Facebook and with the police chief and residents emailing us, maybe some addition, they're telling us to leave all our lights on in our house. So many lights are off on the street, and we are paying for it. So could you check if the council is agreeable, have the attorney check into the legality of that? I don't know if anybody's ever done it. It's brought up before, but I really think it's necessary at this point, because unless you start hurting them in the pocketbook, they're just basically, you know, spinning their wheels. Is everybody in agreement with that?
The
right.
counselor's writing it down. so
Okay, I
I'll
just
find
wanted to
out
make
for
sure,
you.
not just on my
Okay.
word, that the
All right.
council went along with that. Okay. I noticed in the general discussion part of the agenda, we're asking that CME do some work with the building next door. And I was wondering, back in November, which 3 months ago now, we made a motion to hire an attorney to help us go through all of this. What is where are we at with that? Have we hired an attorney? Have we interviewed, or where are we at? What? Yeah, in November, we authorized looking for an attorney that would help us navigate, you know, repairing this building and bringing it back up. Yeah, the firehouse. I'm sorry. I said the building next door. Sorry.
We're going to cover that under Glenn's report.
Okay, because, you know, I, at this time, I would also formally like to request that we make the historical designation of that building. I mean, because there's probably, just like there were grants available to pay for the last study we had done, there's probably grants available to do this, and we're spending taxpayers' money when it's not necessary. So I make a motion that we we declare that building an historical building. It's very important. The taxpayers, actually, I was pleasantly surprised with the way that went in the meeting. So I'm making the motion if anybody wants to.
What exactly is the motion, Mary?
I would like to declare that building an historical building.
A historical designation for the
Yes.
old firehouse?
Yes, please.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Balka,
Yes.
Colisi,
No, not yet.
Roberts,
No.
Stanarski,
No, not yet.
Zabrowski.
No, I think that's premature at this time.
Okay. I was hoping for a better turnout than that with the vote because, again, we just keep spending taxpayers' money when there's probably grant money out there that could pay for that. Although I am happy that we are starting to do something and I appreciate that. And let me know what the thing is with the attorney. So, Glenn, did they kind of drop that in your lap to look for an attorney?
Mary, I don't recall that resolution, nor was I directed to do anything, but we'll follow up on that first thing tomorrow. And
It was at the last meeting in November. Okay.
Anything else, Mary?
No, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Water, Sewer, Environmental, Councilman Sinarski.
Thank you, excuse me, thank you, Mayor. Water and sewer is one of our big utilities underground, and a lot of people don't realize how important it is. Last year when we were on the rec department, that's very important, but it's very visible. The utilities underground are getting a lot older. We're still producing over 1.5 million gallons of potable water this month. We had over billions of water produced throughout the year, but we have an aging infrastructure and there's going to be some money put into that in the future. So I just want everybody to be aware of that. Thank you. Other than that, progress.
Thank you, Councilman. Recreation, Council President Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. The Recreation Department is getting started. We have the weekly farmers market that's been moved indoors from Thursday outdoors. It's now Wednesday indoors at the Senior Center from 12 to 5. I'm sorry, the Active Adult Center. We have camp counselor applications available beginning February 3rd. I was a camp counselor. One of my first jobs. That park doesn't exist anymore, the top of Elizabeth Street. It was like a desert. And a full event schedule will be announced in early February. One of the things we're working on is getting a comprehensive schedule together. So we have a lot of committees that do schedule events. So we want to make sure we don't have competing events and that we can support each other. So we'll be looking forward to some of those, that kind of information. For everyone here on council, I believe we had gotten an email about the annual elected officials seminar through the MEL. Every one of us that takes it, we get a $250 credit towards that. So Mary, I know we're going to set you up here somewhere so you could take it. And just, I recommend everyone here take it so we can take advantage of that savings.
Checks only, no cash.
Of course. And on very good news, we're going to announce this bigger later, but our recreation director, Brian Van Dongen, I can't say his name. It's only Dungan, has been selected by the New Jersey Parks and Recreation Association as Professional of the Year. Once again, he'll be honored at their annual gala on February 25th in Atlantic City. And I believe we are going to publicly acknowledge this honor a bit closer to the date of the ceremony. So that was a little sneak peek on that. So a lot of good things going on. And I feel like I'm forgetting something, which is always the case. So I will remind us later if I recall it. But I think that's it. Everything's going well. Recreation is going to be a new position for me. I was on Water and Sewer. I'm going to miss the Environmental Commission, but I'll visit periodically. And thank you, Mayor. Progress.
Okay, thank you. There were two things I wanted to talk about tonight. One was Paula Duffy, who I've known since the late 90s, who was a super energized person, committed and devoted to the borough, her parish, her family, and occasionally her husband. But that being said, Paula had a hip operation, and it's a challenge getting better, but she was certainly an asset to the town, and I wish her a speedy recovery so that she can get back at it. So, Bob, if you would pass along our sincere thanks and our best wishes on a quick recovery. All right? Second thing, I just wanted to say goodbye to my friend Joe Rudy. He was a remarkable guy. He was everything you would think about with a veteran. He always kept his composure. He was an all-American guy, Korean War veteran, dedicated to his community, his church, his family. And it'll be a long time before I meet another man of his character and caliber. So I know you're already up there, Joe. You will be remembered well. That being said, we'll go to the general discussion agenda items.
Authorization for the tax collector to refund taxes and cancel all subsequently billed taxes due to 100% disabled veterans tax exemption for the following: 23 Orchard Street in the amount of $4,946.05, 161 Madison Street in the amount of $438.46.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to award a non-fair and open contract to Jaffe Communications for social media consultant services in an amount not to exceed $40,000.
Any objection?
I just have a question. It's okay. Do we have a copy of the contract? And does it discuss exactly what his duties are? I know he was appointed last year, but I don't know any of those particulars. And before this comes up for a vote, if I could get that? Thank you.
Just bear with me 1 minute. Okay. Authorization to accept and adopt the Central Jersey Joint Insurance Funds 2025 Safety Incentive Program.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization,
Changes to this is basically just renewing what was there before their safety.
last year, it's the same.
Yeah.
Authorization to affirm the borough's civil rights policy as required by CGIF for the Safety Incentive Program.
Any objection? Next
Same
item.
thing. It's no changes.
And no changes.
Thank you.
Authorization to sell Block 371, Lot 2.03 on Johnson's Lane.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization for the borough clerk to advertise for the receipt of sealed bids for abandoned and unclaimed motor vehicles.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to purchase ballistic carrier vests from the activity group through NJ Cooperative Purchasing Alliance Program in an amount not to exceed $153,725.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to enter into shared service agreement with the Township of East Brunswick for public works services, water utility services, sewer utility services, brine making, video production, or information technology.
Any objection?
We'll be getting a detailed list of exactly what service we'll be sharing with whom. Thank you, Glenn.
Next item.
Authorization to award an UES contract to NJ Tree Foundation in an estimated amount of $100,000 for the Weber Ave MacArthur Avenue floodplain restoration project.
Any objection?
No objections, but the shade tree, that's under Public Works, doesn't seem to have any information on this. If you could make sure that they get all the particulars
Can you
on
get
it.
it to him, Glenn?
Thank you.
Anything else? All right. Next item, Glenn.
Authorization to promote Ryan Erickson from laborer 1 to ground maintenance worker 1 in the Public Works Department effective February 1st, 2025.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to promote Deborah Turner and Susan Ferrano from Record Support Tech 1 to Record Support Tech 2 in the Police Department retroactive to January 1, 2025.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to appoint Wade Meyer as laborer 1 in the Public Works Department effective February 1, 2025.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization for CME Associates to prepare plans and specifications for the preservation of the old firehouse and resurfacing of walkway in the Veterans Memorial Park.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to renew the contract with BRS Incorporated for grant planning and administrative services not to exceed $44,000.
Any objection? Okay, CFO's report, Danielle.
Budget transfer for last year's budget
Okay. Borough Engineers Report, Jay Cornell.
Thank you, Mayor. First item is improvements to Minnesink Avenue. That project's been completed, recommending the contract be closed out and a final change order with a net reduction be approved. You need a resolution to do that.
Any objection? Next item.
Same thing for this next project, French and Albert Street drainage. That's been completed, recommending closeout with a net reduction change order.
Next item. Any objection? Next item.
Finally, Mayor, the Camelot at Main Street project, that's been completed. All the bond improvements have been completed, recommending the project be closed out and subject to a posting of a 2-year, 15% maintenance bond to guarantee the improvements, the maintenance of the improvements that are installed on the project.
Any objection? Anything else, Jay?
That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Borough Attorney's Report.
I have nothing this evening, Mayor, but I am getting up to speed on everything in the borough and look forward to having something to report at the next meeting.
Well, welcome aboard. Okay, with that, we'll go to the public portion for questions and comments on all issues. Ken?
Thank you very much, Mayor Ken Olszewski, Saraville. At the last meeting that I was at a couple meetings ago, the mayor had some comments about me on a personal basis. And of course, he did it after the public comment period was over. So thanks for that, Mayor. That's quite an act that you should be proud of. But I do want to thank you, Mayor. I want to thank you very much for the comments you made, which I will answer. Maybe I won't get time on the 5 minutes tonight. I have another thing to go over. But rest assured, I will answer them. But I want to thank you, Mayor, because you didn't refer to me as an a-hole, nor did you refer to me as a dopey person with no life, because that's how you normally refer to the members of the public here. So thank you very much for that, Mayor. I want to move on and ask about a job that I talked about this microphone before. We hired someone from South Jersey, basically Philadelphia area, 15 miles north of Philadelphia. He hired someone there, and the information that I got was that was hired as a clerk typist. It's hard to find out information because, of course, you don't answer questions. So, as I said before, that's a good avenue and route to the secrecy leads to corruption in most cases. So you don't get the real information, but he was hired, as I heard, as a clerk typist. Then the mayor introduced him later on as an aide. One of his many aides, kind of like the mayor of New York City has. Oh, except he's already under indictment. And then we hear that in addition to that, he is now an assistant director of SARA. And I believe somebody at this microphone right here said not too long ago that he was chair of a PAC. For people who don't know what a PAC is, the definition of a political action committee, but basically it's a fundraising committee for politics. That this same gentleman was chair of a PAC, and the PAC was used for the campaigns of the mayor and of his people on this council in the last couple of years. Now, does anybody know anything about that? If that's true? Of course, nobody's going to answer. Well, let me tell you what that sounds like to me. That sounds like job selling. Are we going to take in and put a sign at Borough Hall, jobs for sale? And the person who raises the most funds, he gets the job? And then he moves through the borough pretty quickly. This guy must be the greatest thing since sliced bread. Or is it that he raised the most money for your campaign, Mayor, and for those of your colleagues up here? This sounds like a job-selling deal. My facts may not all be right. As I say, it's hard to get information here. But I think that should be investigated. And if, in fact, that is correct, this sounds like a job-selling deal. And Wow, this borough should be ashamed of that. And you people that voted for this person, for these jobs, you should be ashamed of that too. That's downright horrible. And just to comment a little bit on that, I'm going to run out of time, so I'm going to have to wait with replies for your comments from last meeting I attended. But rest assured, I will have comments, and I'll have a lot of other comments, Mayor. The problem is we're going to run out of time of the year. That 5 minutes a meeting is not enough time for all the things that I'm going to talk about, if necessary, if you want to do that, Mayor. I'll let it up to you, but I'll be glad to reply to anything you come up with. And finally, I'd like to say, I agree with the mayor. Joe Rudy was a great guy. I worked with him when I shared water and sewer in the borough, and he was a fine gentleman, and I send my condolences to his family. And the last thing I have, you keep talking about Jersey Central Power and Light, and nobody yet, as that I know, has put out a resolution to our legislative delegation about this. Where is the resolution to the legislative delegation? Are we just going to talk about this and wring our hands? Our senator, he has to sign off. He has to vote. He has to vote for the Board of Public Utilities. That's the people we should go in for. I have no problem with the money. That's a great idea, but we ought to be going to the Board of Public Utilities, and the guy that's responsible for that and for voting for it is Senator Vitale. Thank you very much.
Art? Go right ahead, Mary.
I believe that when that ordinance was changed back, it wasn't limited to 5 minutes. Am I correct? When it was changed?
5 minutes.
Just one? Okay. I'll have to get a copy of that. Thank you.
Arthur?
Okay, thank you. Happy New Year, everybody. One quick thing on the affordable housing. I know the legislature is looking at changing the rule, the Mount Laurel, and I would hope that you're in contact with the legislator to look at that so that we're not spending and giving the builders $19 million like we did the last time. I'm concerned as chairman of the Shade Tree Commission that we were not informed of anything that's going on with the New Jersey Tree Foundation. Shade Tree Commission is the authorized party to deal with local, county, state, and federal properties and the planning and maintenance of trees in this borough. We are a commission. We are separate. We can do ordinances. We also have other plans we have going. We've been asking to get the names of the people at Rutgers that we have not been able to get. We would like to work with the business administrator, but we have not given the information that we need to get. As far as the Historical Society, I still cannot believe now, after tonight, the people in this town voted over 5,000 votes in favor of spending $3 million. We're still not asking to spend a dime. You're sending out to CME to prepare plans and specifications. They already did a report. You spent $26,000 that wasn't necessary to be spent, could have been covered under a grant. There are grants available. It's very simple. Our grant writer in the town can't even apply to them because one of the questions is going to be, do your mayor and council approve of making a local historic site? And the answer is no, even though the public has said an overwhelming yes. I've never seen anything in town election-wise have a 5,000 vote plurality in the 30 plus years that I've been here. So for you to say, oh, well, it's not time now, we got to wait. No, you've waited since a year ago. You've waited since the November election and you've done nothing. To me, that's a dereliction of duty. You are the legislative branch. Donna, President, you're supposed to propose these things. Council, you're the legislative branch. The mayor only votes if it's a tie. He doesn't make the legislation, you do. You know, we've got the 250th anniversary of this country coming up. It'll probably be 250 years before you do anything with the firehouse because you keep waiting and waiting. We could be spending our time on that. We could be spending time on the firehouse. I strongly urge you again to make it a local historic site. There are plenty of things available. Grants, you have Preservation New Jersey, and I'm sure the attorney knows many places to look for historic preservation. The state has many things. My friends down at Middletown, again, $200,000 to fix up the train station as their museum. Why? Because they don't want to be known as the people who don't want to celebrate the history of this country. Unfortunately, Saraville is the mayor and council that doesn't want to celebrate this country.
Jim?
Thank you, Mayor. Jim Robinson, Parlin. First, I want to thank Mary for your suggestion on allowing people to participate by Zoom once again. And thank Mary and Councilman Balka for trying to get the historical designation. And Stosh, you and Mary seem to be supportive of doing something about the lights. So I thank you for that. Back in 2023, Mayor Kilpatrick and Mayor McCormick suggested we buy and preserve the 40 acres adjacent to Kennedy Park that is owned by Mako. Back then, the council agreed. They ordered an appraisal to put the wheels in motion to acquire that property. Then in 2024, Mayor O'Brien was back. He met with Mr. Mako and they discussed building homes on that site, right, Glenn? And progress on moving ahead with procuring that, preserving that for the borough was stopped. I opened the appraisal that the council requested and it was denied. I don't know what the secret is. We paid for it. If we're not buying the property, as the mayor said, what's the secret? And over the holidays, somebody asked me what I thought the cost of that property was. And I thought it was an excellent question. And so I'm a licensed commercial realtor and a successful one, I might add. And I've dealt with similar properties. So over the Christmas break, I did my own research. I looked at maps dating back to 1930. I looked at topos. I looked at wetlands. I looked at comps. I walked the property. I did a pretty thorough review for an old guy. Property is zone prime, so it's limited as to what you can do there. The borough assesses it at $395,000. I believe, after researching everything that I did, this property is worth, surprisingly, only about $15,000 an acre. That entire 40 acres, I believe, was probably appraised at somewhere near $600,000. And if I'm wrong, tell the public, tell them I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm an old man who's lost his marbles and I'm just babbling. But if I'm right, and that $600,000 figure is a real appraisal, if you don't preserve that property, then shame on you. The people aren't happy with all the building, the mega warehouses, the condos, the apartments, the traffic, the destruction of trees, and the destruction of the wildlife habitat. Now is the opportunity to do something. Mayor, you've not spent a dime on open space in your 20 years as mayor. A few years ago, you vetoed the purchase of properties to stop apartments from being built. Thankfully, the council overrode that veto, and so apartments weren't built there. 4.5 acres was added to Kennedy Park. Danielle, what do we have in the open space fund? 10?
There's about $9 million in there.
9 million. Okay, I was close. All right, so $600,000 is 7%, between 6.5% and 7% of the total amount that we have just sitting in the bank in that open space fund. And if we can preserve 40 acres from warehouse or residential development, why not do it? Mayor, I know you like referendums, although they don't
Jim, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Bob? Bob Duffy, 111 Merritt Avenue. I want to thank you, Mayor, for the kind words to my wife. Kind person. We have a new attorney on the council now. The last attorney, he was going to try to come up with an ordinance for people to go in front of boards that all of fines and stuff is supposed to be. This was in the summertime. Okay. An ordinance, to come up with an ordinance that if anybody wants to come in front of any board with property, that their taxes, their okay. fines, Right. and, Okay. you know, Yep. so, I'll go over it with him. okay. Number two is, Clean bill of health. Clear title. Yeah, well, I mean, why go in front of a I board got you. when you're getting fined for what you're doing? You want the board to rectify it, make it all good again. Let them pay the fines and then go. It's money into the township. The other thing I'd like to talk about, is there an ordinance for people to go door to door in town? Yeah, They have to have a permit. right. Okay. Thank you. Now, And Michael, Hey, Bob, there's a no-knock where you can, is it the police they call?
I think it's on our website.
For the no-knock. You can go to the website and anybody who's coming in to go door to door will get a sheet of homes that they're not allowed to knock on.
Okay. But I just want to
Wait, let
make
just,
something clear is only if they're licensed, they get that sheet. If they're not licensed
right,
through
if
us.
they're
then-
just
Yeah.
freelance people, we don't, if we know about it, they have to get a permit. Okay, because of the ration of car thieves and breaking in, we need our police to question these people, ask them. In my area, in Merritt Avenue up at the end, we had 3 in the last month, okay? And one was very suspicious. It was raining real hard, and he was going door to door selling roofs.
Okay.
We called the police, and he was at our site. We got in our car and followed him, and I don't know if the police ever showed up. I think, Michael, in your reports with the public safety, you're given a number of calls, number of things. I think you should get some time response. Maybe we can make it better. Just a
We'll bring
number.
that to the police.
But
To the chief.
that'll deter the bad guys that coming in. Once they know they're gonna be questioned or get arrested right away for not having a permit or something, they'll go somewhere else. I mean, there's nobody here more involved with police other than John Zabrowski than you are because of your brother-in-law's. That being said, as you know, when a call goes into the switchboard, it's prioritized. Right. So at any one time, we, in the evening, we have 4 to 6 officers on the road. So if there's a heart attack, if there's other issues that they're dealing with, they're prioritized.
I'm 100% with that. I
Not
understand.
that your call isn't
No,
important.
no, I grant you that. But if you remember years ago, you changed the shifting of police officers because of the way the bars were closing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well-
So if you get response times and you can have someone look at it that's an expert, and maybe there could be a change in it or something.
Okay. No, everything can be improved, Bob.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with you.
It's on the list, the times, and we're not deteriorating the police force. We just want
No.
to make it more efficient.
I think we happen to have an excellent police force. Always have.
I didn't say we didn't,
No, I know you
you
didn't.
know?
You're pro-police.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
are. I know that.
I'm a police family.
I know. I know.
Thank you,
Okay.
Mayor.
Thank you. Anything else? That being said, I'll entertain a motion. Jim, you already came up.
I have something else. You can
Yeah.
call me again.
I don't know. Well, I have to check, but I think it's no, Jim, I didn't call on you. You called on you. I didn't
I want to
call.
mention something.
Jim,
Mayor, at the
As a courtesy,
reorganization, this
go
is
ahead.
pretty important. At the
Jim,
reorganization
you never
meeting,
say
the
anything
council
unimportant to
failed to
yourself.
appoint Councilman Zabrowski to the planning board. 4055D-23 says the governing body needs to appoint a member appointed by the governing body. We have a very important application before the board. Zabrowski was appointed liaison to the committee, but not appointed the Class 3 member of the planning board. So I listened to the
Check.
tapes.
I specifically made that appointment, or so.
No, you made the liaison appointment. You
No.
didn't appoint him to the,
I'll
and besides that, Mayor, it isn't the mayor's appointment. It's the council's appointment.
Jim,
So if you specifically made that
I'll-
appointment, it's not a valid appointment.
Jim, we'll review it.
4055D-23 says a member of the governing body to be
know how I
appointed
did
by
that?
it.
I did that.
And I listened to the tape. It wasn't done. I'm not trying to cause a problem. I'm trying to solve.
All right,
I'm trying to make sure there
Hey,
isn't a problem.
look, we know what happened. We'll take care of it.
Okay, and I would suggest you do it tonight.
Jim, thank you. Sit down.
Okay, my pleasure.
Find out.
I'm
find
always
out.
glad to help, Mayor.
Jim,
We did it for the standing committees. We did not.
no, I did. I sent in the appointment by email to both the planning board and there's a special category for the planning board and the environmental. I specifically,
That was the Christina.
all right,
You did that one.
I did that.
So, for the environmental, not the class 3. That was class 2.
Which one do I need to appoint?
Class 3 to council.
You didn't reappoint the Class 2.
No, we did.
Yes, class 2, he did.
Yeah. Which one is missing?
Class 3. Councilman Zabrowski.
All right, so I appoint Councilman Zabrowski.
Council appointment.
You can't.
It's a council.
Yeah, it's a motion by the council.
I'll make a motion to appoint John Zambrowski as the Class 3 delegate for the planning board.
And I'll second.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Roberts.
Yes.
Balca.
Yes.
Khaleesi. Novak.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
Thank
Okay.
you. Sometimes the dopey a-holes know what they're talking about.
But not you. With that
I
being
did.
said,
You didn't.
I will entertain a motion to close the public portion. Come on up. You are,
Good evening, Charlie Cradaville. I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today, community news
are
outlet.
you here as a reporter or as a citizen?
I am both.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Thank you, sir. Here to follow up on a concern I raised at your reorganization meeting about Judge Spencer Robbins. If you recall, I raised a concern about a criminal case from 10 years ago. I'm still looking into that, and I did take your advice, and I was able to get a number and did call his office and haven't heard back yet to get his side of the story. But that's come to my attention. There's more concerns. In particular, looking up his record, disciplinary record as an attorney. The Supreme Court of New Jersey has a whole system for attorney discipline. I believe there were 2 of the lowest form of punishments called an admonition, one from 2005 and one from 2015, or I'm sorry, 2004 and 2015. But much more concerning is a more recent order from our state Supreme Court. This is what's considered a censure. And so I'll just read a little bit from this. In the matter of Spencer B. Robbins, attorney at law, attorney number 0299519181, the Disciplinary Review Board, having filed with the court its decision in DRB 24-090, recommending that Spencer B. Robbins of Woodbridge, who was admitted to the bar of this state in 1981, should be censured for violating RPC 1.15d, parenthesis, failing to comply with the record-keeping requirements of Rule 1:21-6 and RPC 8.1b, parenthesis, failing to cooperate with disciplinary authorities. And, it goes on from there. But this was signed by Stuart Rabner, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and the Clerk of the Supreme Court, the 3rd of December, just last year, 2024. So I didn't realize it at the time when I was bringing up what I brought up at your reorganization meeting, but this is a very timely concern looking into Judge Robbins' record, how he was appointed, the vetting that was done. And I think since he has taken the bench, there's now a new matter that's also of concern. So I wanted to get your side, Mayor, hear you and the council talk about how you vetted Spencer Robbins and what's being done, if anything.
We submitted the name to the assigning judge, and the assigning judge passed it. So whatever your issue is with our judge is your issue. He's done a commendable job here. I assume you might have lost a case. He might have represented somebody on the other side of the aisle from you, because it seems awful personal for you.
You assume wrong. I've actually never met the man.
I just recommend you keep calling him.
Okay, well, I'll give him another call, but I think that at this point, reasonable people should be concerned. And if, one of the municipal judges being censured by the state Supreme Court is not cause for concern, then I think we've got an even bigger problem. And so I'm just bringing it to all your attention because you're the governing body that has appointed him to this position of power in the borough where he's overseeing lots of cases. You may think he's doing a commendable job, and whatever that's based on, I'm sure you have your factors you consider.
Hey, Jim, if you're going to talk, take it out in the hall.
Just from the public perspective, this is concerning that this person with this record is a judge.
Listen, you go right ahead. You got 5 minutes to say what you want to say, and then away we go.
Sure. I guess I was hoping to prompt some discussion from the mayor and council here. And if anybody wants to.
This is a public portion. It's not a press conference.
Fair enough. I'll just say I'm here to bring this to your attention. I want to thank the person who brought this to my attention after I spoke at your January 1 meeting. Someone called me, and I encourage people to call me with tips and information about things that need to be investigated, need to be exposed, need to be lifted up and raised up. So I give my phone number right now to anybody who wants it, 732-993-9697. Encourage the council to give me a call if you want to talk about this matter or anything else. Same to you, Mayor, and same to the general public. At New Brunswick Today, we're here to help. We are a community news outlet, and this is our community. So thank you for hearing me out, and hope that we can keep an open line of communication.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone else? Take a motion.
Make a motion to close the public?
Second.
Roll call.
Aye. I make a motion to adjourn.
Not yet, Donna.
Sorry.
There is something that's I wanted to point out. When it comes to open space, one of the things you have to have is a willing seller. So over the course of years, I have asked Mr. Mako from time to time if he would like to sell some of his property to open space. So, and he didn't. So I think during my predecessor's term, he has about 140 acres on the other side of Kennedy Park on the Main Street side, and that went through the planning board, and it was approved for warehouses. So now on the Washington Road side, he has the 40 acres, which he does not want to sell. Doesn't want to sell the warehouse side, doesn't want to sell any of his property. Jim, you have a personal relationship with the guy. You can call him anytime you want and ask him if he wants to sell it. Ask him if he wants, if an acre on Journey Mill Road is going for $500,000 for a warehouse, I don't see how 40 acres in Kennedy Park is going to go for 15. I'm not here to discuss it.
Show us the appraisal. What are you hiding? Show us the appraisal.
I don't know. Wherever the appraisal is, the appraisal is.
Property behind Kennedy Park is different property and its own prime.
It doesn't matter. Jim, except you're not allowed to be appointed. Okay, so what everybody needs to realize is you have to have a willing seller. And if you don't have a willing seller, you're not going to buy it at any price. And that's the point that I wanted to share with anyone. That being said, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
Roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everyone.